Welcome to the channel, friends. So today's video is going to be a removal and install video of a C6 Corvette steering wheel. This is a C6 ZR1 steering wheel, a 2012 year model, and I'll be replacing it with two other options. I'm going to decide further along the video which one I'm going to go with, but I want to do a quick recap on how to remove the steering wheel and install a new one. But as you can see here, I have a stock factory C6 ZR1 3ZR package steering wheel, which I've modified with carbon fiber on the spokes here. That's not factory, but it does enhance the look of the steering wheel. This is just the standard wrapped and stitched steering wheel, but I'm going to go ahead and swap them out with a couple other ones and see what I think. And I'm going to go and show you that right now, and I'm going to go over the removal and install process. Alright, so here are the two options I'm going with. It's either going to be the factory suede wheel, which I have a aftermarket airbag cover for. I'm going to go ahead and swap out the internals. I have to switch over the airbag to this cover and install it. And also install the badge from my wheel onto this, because I don't want this just plain carbon fiber one, even though it does look good. But this is your standard factory suede wheel with blue stitching. This stitching matches the aftermarket cover really nice. This is a leather wrapped and stitched cover. I got this separately. And then I have this other aftermarket wheel, which as you can see is carbon fiber. It's got the nice palm swells, finger grooves up the top. It's got the racing stripe down the center at 12 o'clock. This is a really nice wheel. It needs a lot more work because I would have to switch over all the guts from my current wheel over into this, and it requires quite a bit of work. And one little thing I don't like about it, after realizing, purchasing it and receiving it, is that this stitching does not match this color stitching here on the cover. So when I install this here, okay, it's very subtle, but you can kind of tell that these are two different color blues or shades of blue. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I'm gonna install both, look at them, see how they look in the car, and decide at that point what I'm gonna do. But let me go ahead now and start removing the wheel out of my vehicle and get going. Alright, so a quick recap of the disassembly process. You're going to want to pull the cover off first. So the way you do that is by going on either side here. There's a access hole, a very small hole that allows you to detach these clips here and disengage the latch for the cover. So I use this like small Torx bit screwdriver, which is perfect because you want a nice flat kind of sharp edge to capture that latch. So when you install it in there, find your hole, and then it will catch your tool and disengage the cover. Okay, so you're going to pull up on one side at a time. As you disengage that, as you can see there, it kind of moves it out of the way and disengages that one side. So you pull it forward, hold it forward, then come over to the other side, do the same thing. Find your hole and disengage that latch right there, that little spring right there. That will completely remove and dislodge the center cover from the steering wheel, and you can pull it out, okay? It helps using something like this with a flat edge on it, a flat face, because it captures that latch better. Okay, it allows you to remove it easier. So when you do that, then you're going to be left with these two connections, this pink and white. You're going to want to remove the clips completely out of the connector. Otherwise, you won't be able to remove these clips. They're so tiny, and there's two flaps on either side. You have to depress those. So if you don't have that clip fully removed from the center of it, it's going to be in your way, and it's going to be very difficult, and you might break something. So completely remove the clip. Then it allows you to depress these tabs on either side here, and then you can go ahead and remove each one of these connectors, and then the cover will come right out just like this. Okay, so I have to go ahead and now break this down and remove this airbag portion and replace it with a new cover, but The very last step is to remove this 21mm nut. So I just used a ratchet with a big 6-inch extension, 21mm socket. I just held the steering wheel and with one hand, and then I loosened the nut with the other, and now it's loose. Okay, so once you do that, take the nut out. Give a couple wiggles, and it'll come right out. Okay, and then you can go ahead and now put your new steering wheel on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and start the process of switching over all the covers and the internals and this and that, and I'll give you guys an update in a little bit. Alright, so really quick, I just want to fit this up and show you what the suede factory wheel looks like on this with the aftermarket cover. Looks pretty damn good. I'm actually favoring this steering wheel versus the carbon fiber one, but I just wanted to put it together and kind of mock it up and see what it looks like. Feels really nice. The suede is really nice. It's not Alcantara, but it is suede. It's like a faux suede material. I wouldn't consider it real suede or real Alcantara at all. But definitely looks good. These black panels here, I think I definitely will replace them with my carbon fiber ones. It looks a little plain without that. But overall, the center cover, the stitched pattern is really nice. Really brings out the interior, dresses it up nice. Alright, so let's go on to the carbon fiber one and see what that looks like. Alright, so this is what it looks like with the carbon fiber wheel. It actually looks really, really nice. I'm having a hard time now deciding. It just looks so classy with the touch of smooth leather and carbon, smooth leather center cover and everything. It just looks so freaking good. I can get past the different color and blue stitching. You can't really see it once it's in the car. You know, it's a little bit darker situation. You don't get as much direct lighting, so it kind of blends in the different shades of blue. So that's not as much of an issue, but it looks so freaking good. I'm having a hard time deciding now. So I'm going to go ahead and start disassembling the cover on the original and transferring the guts into this, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do. Alright, just to give it a different angle of perspective here, when I'm looking at it, like, it looks really, really nice. So you just like kind of peer into the cabin and you can see the carbon fiber touches on the steering wheel, carbon fiber on the knob, carbon fiber on the e-brake handle there. Those are all real carbon fiber pieces that I have. Okay, so it really kind of matches up with some of the interior pieces really well. So, like I said, I'm going to have a hard time deciding now, but it looks so freaking damn good. Alright, here I have the airbag assembly already taken apart. So all I do basically is use a set of pliers just like this, flat-nosed, and then you bend down the tabs. This one already is dislodged and is able to come out. As you can see, that's what the airbag looks like. But these metal tabs are underneath these slots, so you basically bend the tab down and then carefully like pull the rubberized portion up over the tab to release it. And I did this side first, and then I made my way around to either the left and the right side. So I start with the top and bottom. That way it gives us some freedom. This has a lot of give to it, so you can just like pry those off of, I start from the outside, from the outside corner in, and I'll pry on this rubberized piece to remove it. Okay, it's a lot easier than it looks. You just take your time and be really careful. You don't want to rip the actual airbag cover because it's kind of rubberized. But you get the idea. You basically just like bend these tabs down, and then when you go to install it, it's the same thing. You just pull these up over and then bend the metal tab back up. Okay, so it's like straight up and down. And that's it. It's as simple as that, taking apart your airbag cover. These are very flexible and durable, so you can bend them a bunch of times without them breaking or anything, so you don't have to worry about that. This is made to be serviced and assembled and reassembled. So that there is the actual airbag cover portion of it. And basically allows me to get to the badge. Okay, so in here there's going to be tabs that I bend out, and then I can remove this emblem and replace it onto the nice, you know, leather stitched one. And the same thing, I have to remove that center emblem, but those are just like metal tabs that get bent out and then bent back in place when you go to replace it. So that there is the airbag assembly. It's pretty simple. You know, as long as you just are very careful and put this back the way it was, everything's going to be fine. Okay, so that there is the quick summary on that, and let's go ahead and keep on going and reassemble the guts on these things. Alright, so here is the final product. I think I'm going to go with the carbon fiber wheel, and I'll explain why. I had a hard time with this here, this leather stitched cover. This back, the actual housing piece is like a rigid plastic, and that was causing a serious problem. As you can see, I completely destroyed it, and I basically skinned it. I pulled it completely apart to try to salvage this piece, to possibly, you know, stick it onto here with some, you know, contact adhesive. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to run the factory piece. This here is like a rubberized material, and it makes it a lot easier to install the airbag component. Okay, you can stretch those tabs over, no problem. So there's a big difference between this material and this material that they are using for the aftermarket, you know, leather cover. This is like a super rigid ABS plastic, and it cracks as soon as you try to stretch it. As you can see right there, it broke it. So I don't know how they expect you to reuse this, because it's not possible. I ended up cracking it, and I was like I'm already, you know, balls deep in this thing, and I destroyed it. So I decided to just pull this thing apart and see if I could salvage it. But anyways, this is how I'm gonna run it. The factory cover with the factory badge. I pulled over my carbon fiber panels from my OEM wheel, and I applied it here and here, and I completely converted over the guts. So I took all the panels and everything, and the internals, this like honk plate, which is for the horn. I took all that, all the harnesses, and put it into here. And as you can see, everything looks factory. Everything works. So pretty much it's a easy swap. Now it's time to put it in the car, and I can just go ahead and place this in there, and that's how it's gonna look. Okay. One thing I don't like about the suede wheel is that it looks dirty right off the bat. Like, even though this thing's brand new, it has like a really light gray kind of like dirty look to it, like it's been used, but it's not dirty in any way. It's brand new. So I ended up just going with a carbon fiber. I think overall it looks classier, and just overall, you know, more high performance, and, you know, kind of racy and edgy compared to just the Alcantara or the suede. That's just my personal opinion. You may like the suede wheel more, but I'm gonna give this a go first and see how I like it. I'm a little disappointed that I couldn't get the leather cover to work here. You know, I don't know what else to do with this, because if I buy another one, it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be that hard ABS plastic, which kind of sucks. So I may just run it just the way you see it here. So now let me go ahead and install it on the car and button this project up. All right, there she is, all buttoned up and installed in the car. Looks really good. I'm gonna have to come back and revisit that leather center airbag cover and see what I can do, if I can find an alternative or a replacement. But for now, this is how I'm gonna run it. Looks really nice. Matching blue with my seat belts here, as you can see. So I got the steering wheel and the different blue accents of the ZR1 all tied together. So looking really good. If you guys have any questions or comments, please place them right down below. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.